around here. Huh, no sense of humor. On with the show,
What's up, guys? We're Marigogo. You're listening to WRGW District Radio.
We're Future Islands, and you're listening to
WRGW.
What a beauty! Oh, I've never seen one as big as that before. Ooh! What a whopping! It must be 18 inches long or more. It's such a lovely colour. It's nice and round and fat. Whoever thought an arrow could grow as big as that? Ooh! What a beauty! Oh, I've never seen one as big as that before. What a whopping! It must be 18 inches long or more. It's such a lovely colour. It's nice and round and fat. Whoever thought an arrow could grow as big as that? Oh, what a beauty! I've never seen one as big as this before.
Good evening, folks. I'm your host, Henry Scriven-Young, and welcome back to Uptime. Pure gaming, tunes and news, no cheat codes required, here on WRGW District Radio. I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in last week, and a special thank you to those of you who have tuned in for tonight's show. For those of you who don't know, Uptime is a music show where I play the soundtracks from video games. I'll also be throwing in some news and other fun bits, so sit back and relax as we jump into tonight's show. Thank goodness you've all tuned in for tonight's show. I have an extremely fun show planned for this evening. If anyone here has ever played Untitled Goose Game, tonight's game is extremely similar to that. Fortunately for us, this game actually has a long enough soundtrack to allow me to do an episode on it. Tonight's game is Thank Goodness You're Here. It's a quirky British game with a soundtrack that I find to be a mix between chill music and vibe music. Either way, tonight's show is going to be a great one. For those unfamiliar with tonight's game, here is a quick rundown. Thank Goodness You're Here is an adventure video game developed by Cole Supper and published by Panic. Players take the role of a traveling salesman who performs odd jobs for the residents of a bizarre town in northern England. It's available for Mac OS, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Windows. It was released on August 1st, 2024. The player character, a very small, balding salesman, is sent by his employer to the fictional northern English town of Barnsworth for a meeting with the town's Lord Mayor. The mayor's receptionist explains that the mayor is in a meeting and won't be done for hours. So the player character explores the town and solves the eccentric residents' problems, such as helping a man get his arm unstuck from a sewer grate or delivering meat from a butcher shop, in order to pass the time. As the story progresses, the residents' antics gradually become more bizarre and unhinged. At the end of the game, the player character is overwhelmed by the residents' demands for help and returns to the mayor's office, only to find out the mayor wants his help with an errand as well. Alternatively, the player can choose to wait in the reception area for the full duration. After 15 minutes of waiting, the mayor finishes his business early and allows the player to meet with him, upon which he asks for help with an errand. The game was longlisted for 9 awards at the 21st British Academy Game Awards. With all that out of the way, let's get back to the music. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed Herbert's theme, Downhill, and March. So starting with Herbert's theme, like I mentioned at the top of the show, the soundtrack is a mix between vibe and chill music. This one is certainly much more chill. It's got a slower tempo. There's the slow plucking of string instruments. It's got mostly legato notes. The notes are very long. They're not extremely short, which would be staccato. It has very similar patterns of notes in a way that, like, okay, this is kind of not repetitive boring, but repetitive familiar, so your brain kind of turns off. It isn't expecting anything new, that kind of stuff. It's a good song. Honestly, I could see myself falling asleep to this one. The soundtrack is jam-packed with great songs like this that bring something unique to the soundtrack, and I'll mention that more when we get to the March song. Moving on to Downhill. As longtime listeners will know, I am a huge fan of brass instruments, and this song uses them beautifully. The theme for this song is nothing short of cute. It's a great addition to the opening theme from the previous song. I also like the humming mouth vibrations. It honestly, it made me chuckle a little bit. It was kind of funny. I was a big fan. Moving to March. This one reminded me a lot of the Overworld theme from Guacamelee. It's another good song. The melody doesn't get boring because things are being added to and taken out of it. Again, it has the classic staple of a beginning, a middle, and an end, which is something important that every good song should have. This is also an excellent world-building song in the sense that clearly the people in the town of Barnsworth are weird. They must be, because this song itself is kind of weird. It's got a weird collection of instruments. The melody is unusual for something that you would usually hear in any kind of video game. And so that gives you a good sense of, okay, something here is weird just in the music. Let's explore the town. Let's see what's going on here. Excellent, excellent world building. Before we move on to our next section of music, I'd like to talk about our sponsor for today's episode of Exclamation Point Uptime. This episode of Exclamation Point Uptime is sponsored by Falun Dafa Club. Falun Dafa Club at GWU aims to provide an open and safe environment for members and affiliates of the George Washington University to freely practice Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, on campus, and to empower their members to incorporate the values of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, or in Chinese, Zhen, Shan, and Ren, into their daily lives. Regular activities include weekly exercises and experience sharing sessions. Anyone is welcome to join or leave at any time during sessions. Additionally, they host various cultural events to introduce traditional Chinese culture and its deep roots with Falun Dafa to students. If you have questions or would like to be involved, you can join via Engage or contact the official email at jade.do@gwu.edu. Again, that's jade.do@gwu.edu. Would you like to sponsor Exclamation Point Uptime? Well, each week I'll shout out, as I just did, a GW student organization. You can sponsor Exclamation Point Uptime by submitting the sponsorship form found on the Exclamation Point Uptime website. The form to submit is at sites.google.com/view/uptime-WRGW. Or you can head to my Instagram account, where I have that website linked throughout my profile. A reminder that this is not financially compensated and is more of a shout-out type of thing to promote student organizations here at GW. Additionally, the Exclamation Point Uptime website has been updated since our last show, so I encourage all of you to take a look and explore the website while we take a quick break.
Jerry, are you listening to WRGW?
District Radio?
Of course, District Radio.
You better believe. What are you talking about? Of course I'm listening to WRGW District Radio.
Oh, you're not going to want to touch that dial.
WRGW District Radio. Tune in all day and every day at gwradio.com.
Jerry, Are you listening to WRGW?
District Radio?
Of course, District Radio.
You better believe. What are you talking about? Of course I'm listening to WRGW District Radio. Oh, you're not gonna want to touch that dial.
What's poppin', y'all? It's Alexis with an E. Make sure you all tune into my show Signs Wednesday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. on WRGW. And make sure to subscribe to the Signs podcast on iTunes.
And welcome back to exclamation point Uptime here on WRGW District Radio. I'm your host, Henry Scriven-Young, and that was Nice to Have You, On Our Way, Rain or Shine, and Rain Redo. So starting with Nice to Have You, I really enjoy how simple some of these melodies are to an extent. To an extent, I like that. There's really nothing too fancy, yet it seems to pull you in at the exact same time. The kind of lack of, 20 million instruments pulling your attention, weird noises, weird things, kind of has this like very relaxing feel on me. And maybe it's because I just finished midterms and I'd like to power off my brain. But it's good. I like how it sounds. Obviously, a lot of passion was put into the soundtrack. And again, right, there's part of that world building that like, okay, the song is kind of weird. It's very chill. These are rich people in this town. They are luxurious. They have weird problems. So why not throw that into the music? Make it reflective. And I think it does that well. On Our Way, as I said, it is impressive to see how much this soundtrack can do with such a small number of instruments. But at the same time, I'd like a little more variety and addition. The vocals here are good. I enjoy the bells, but I think personally I'd like a little more experimentation now and then. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm just saying something we haven't heard before. That would be my preferred addition, instead of like, okay, let's take this thing that we've done already and do it again, but a little different. Like, that's fine, but I would like something a little different. I would like a new instrument or a different key or a different kind of tone to go with the music. Just something different, right? Something to spice it up. And I'm not saying it has to be the whole song. I'm not saying we need a 10-minute song of spice. I'm just saying 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there, little spice, sprinkle it in, make it nice. Rain or Shine and Rain Redo, I have the same kind of, maybe issues is a strong word, but I have the same kind of feelings, right? The songs are solid, they are incredibly solid, but it would be nice to hear something a little more unique, a little more interesting, a little spice. A quick note here, it is not an unexpected outcome that people have come to really enjoy this game and all of its quirky and unique humor. Thank Goodness You're Here received universal acclaim for Windows and generally favorable reviews for Switch and PlayStation 5. It received positive reviews from critics with praise for its absurdist humor. Even on Steam, the game has an overwhelmingly positive rating. One user put it best, quote, exceptionally silly, clever, and hilariously weird in all the best ways. It'll have you questioning why you even started, but before long, you'll find yourself laughing uncontrollably. Then it becomes an obsession. What else can I interact with? It's definitely a game worth experiencing. End quote. The game can be purchased on Steam for as little as $13.99. But if you want more bang for your proverbial buck, there's also a bundle going on where you can purchase the game and Untitled Goose Game, which is another great game, for just $30.58. And if none of that sounds appealing, no worries. There's still plenty of music to cover. So with that being said, let's move on to some more music. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed those songs. Since there's quite a few, I'm just going to go in order and list them as I discuss them. So starting with the first one, Rain Whistle. This one is incredible. I have in my notes here, all caps, yes, something different and unique. The whistling is an extremely unique touch. I'm a huge fan. I think, truthfully, this might actually be one of my favorite songs from the soundtrack. I like the whistling, and admittedly, I too whistle sing along here in the booth. So yeah, big fan of that one. Round Fast is the next one. Another good one. I like the spoon tapping-esque noises. I'm not sure how clear that was to all of you listening, but I thought it was a nice addition, and the upbeat tempo was a good change. Round Slow. This is probably the one song I think could be safely removed from this soundtrack. The fast one is just so much better than this one, and listening to the same-ish song back to back is not my preferred listening style. I think either that or cutting this song to just 45 to 50 seconds. Right now it's over a minute long, and I think it's just too long, considering you basically just listen to the same song right before that. Next is Seaside. I like the radio sounding mouth vibrations. Still good, still nice. Those haven't gotten old yet. Still a fan. Next is Sneaky. Again, this is a nice change to a familiar theme. A little repetitive. There's not a clear beginning, middle, and end, but it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. So Far is the next one. Nothing special. Solid. Nice melody that plays off the original theme, but nothing solid. Same with Still Here. Nothing to write home about. Not bad. Not great. Very medium. And then the last one here is Sparse, which I actually really like. It uses the same strings that we've kind of heard, those same kind of plucking, but it changes the melody. It adds new notes. It changes the plucking order. It's very good. I'm a big fan of this one. Moving over to the news. This past week in video game news was pretty boring. Honestly, not much happened. However, I still managed to find 2 newsworthy stories to cover for you tonight. Without further ado, let's jump right into these stories. Our first one is from NSS Magazine. Does advertising within video games work? In recent years, the gaming sector has grown significantly, thanks mainly to continuous technological developments and some particularly successful remakes, which have attracted even more users to this already very popular industry. So, many brands have started to target this field of new users with tailored marketing strategies, turning the gaming sector into a privileged channel for reaching out to new generations. For example, A little over a year ago, within the universe of Fortnite, a new fuel from Shell was advertised through Shell Ultimate Road Trips, requested and promoted by the oil company itself. Shell's project involved offering various circuits where players could race with their vehicles, with the inclusion of various fuel stations. The end goal? Target Gen Z players in a way that presents the Shell brand positively. The advertising market within video games has expanded immensely over time, to the point that it is estimated to reach a total value of $17 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars, by 2030. In general, large companies believe that the success of marketing in gaming is not just a passing trend, but a sign of a profound change in the consumption behaviors of Gen Z. Our second story is from PC Gamer. No Skin is an incredibly simple horror roguelike about the worst party ever, full of strong booze, bad conversation, and eldritch violence. Most of us have been to a bad party, where the vibe feels off. No Skin, a recently released minimalist horror roguelike, shows you what it's like when vibes are cataclysmically rancid. This cringy conversation with your friend will seem like a minor concern when compared to being accosted by an angry, faceless, skinless man who's looking for the fridge. Dominic Terrason, a writer for PC Gamer, described it as, quote, one of the simplest roguelikes I've ever played. It might be a simple game, but that works in No Skin's favor. I weigh up the odds, I make my choices, and I roll the dice. If I don't make it, I can spend in-game currency at the end of a run to unlock more characters, more events, more items, end quote. Although it doesn't sound like a game I will be playing anytime soon, Terrason seems to be hooked. Quote, my first few unsuccessful runs through the game left me comfortable, anxious, and tense. But it has its hooks in me. I need to dig deeper and see just what moon-touched mysteries lie at the bottom of it all, end quote. And that's it for the news for this week. As we move into the last 10 minutes of the show, I'd like to talk about recordings. I've uploaded Uptime's most recent episode, Plants vs. Zombies, and placed the recording on the Uptime website. You can expect recordings to be posted approximately 1 week after the airing of the show it corresponds with, except this upcoming recording, this one, for the one you're listening to right now, will be delayed due to my travel plans for spring break. There will be no show next week because I will not be here. I will not physically be here in DC to do the show. So the show, Uptime, will resume on March 21st. Moving on to the website, be sure to fill out the special guest form, sponsorship form, and the show idea submission form. You've got a whole week, so if you think of anything, fill out those forms. I will check. I promise you. A reminder that this episode of Uptime is sponsored by the Falun Dafa Club. Falun Dafa Club at GWU aims to provide an open and safe environment for members and affiliates of the George Washington University to freely practice Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, on campus, and to empower their members to incorporate the values of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, or in Chinese, Zhen, Shan, and Ren, into their daily lives. If you have questions or would like to be involved, you can join via Engage or contact the official email at jade.do@gwu.edu. Would you like to submit your student org for sponsorship? Well, be sure to check out the Uptime website, where the form to submit is at sites.google.com/view/uptime-WRGW. I'd like to thank you for listening in to tonight's episode of Uptime on WRGW District Radio. I'm your host, Henry Scriven-Young, and I will see everyone next week for pure gaming, tunes, and news. No cheat codes required.
forget the day I went and joined the 93rd. The chums I used to run with said they thought I looked absurd. They saluted me and gathered round me in the ring. And as I wagged my tartan kilt, they all began to sing. He's a bro, Elan laddie, Private Jock McDade. There's no another sodger like him in the Scotch Brigade. Reared among the heather, you can tell he's Scottish built. By the wiggle, waggle, oh, he's killed. I'll never forget the day we were ordered on review. The King came down to see us, and the Queen was with him too. As I marched past the royal coach, the King just shook his head. But the Queen put on her royal specs and looked at me and she said, he's a very nice Highland soldier, Private John McDade. There's not another Highlander like him in the Highland Brigade. He was there to next to Heather, you can tell he's Scottish built. By the wiggle, waggle, oh, he's killed. I'll never forget the day we went away to camp. The sun was hot and I drank a lot. I was nearly dead with cramp. I'm very nearly certain sure I would have died that day. But the thing that saved my life was when the band began to play. Oh, I tell you. Oh, I tell you, I'm not joking. To march 5 miles before your breakfast and 5 miles before your dinner and 5 miles before your tea. No, I tell you, it takes a bit of doing. Of course, I've never done it. I'm only saying it takes a bit of doing to do it. Now, talking about our sergeant said to me, she said, what's wrong with the back of your neck, McDade? I said, the back of my neck. I said, what do you see wrong with the back of my neck? He said, you've got a lump there, right? I said, I have not got a lump. It's a hump. He said, a hump of what? I said, it's a hump of wool. I said, that's my undershirt all gathered up with a sweatspiration. Oh, I tell you, our sergeant, you know who he is? He's a puff. Absolutely. He makes me sick. But whenever I go down to have my broth and my bully beef, I tell you, it's great. You should hear the boys singing. He's a bro, Highland laddie, Private Jock McDade. There's no another soldier like him in the Scotch Brigade. Reared among the heather, you can tell he's Scottish built. By the wiggle, oh, he's killed. He's a bro, Highland laddie, Private Jock McDade. There's no another soldier like him in the Scotch Brigade. Reared among the heather, you can tell he's Scottish built. By the wiggle, oh, he's killed.
Oh, a-hunting we will go, and a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a fox and put him in a box, and then we'll let him go. Tempty, a-hunting we will go. Oh, a-hunting we will go, and a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a fox and put him in a box and then we'll let him go. Tibby, a-hunting we will go. Oh, a-hunting we will go, and a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a fox and put him in a box, and then we'll let him go.
Hello, peasant.
You're listening to WRGW,
Oh, great. Now you tell me.
where there's always lots of